All right, platoon, fall into formation. This is the Joe and the Jarhead show. Hoorah! Over there is Joe. I be Jarhead.
Word.
And we got your headline highlights and a couple articles that we thought was important that the mainstream media has missed.
Yeah, they've either missed them or they're really downplaying them. Tonight, talking about Greece, they just got a new prime minister who's labeled as a conservative. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see.
USA women
Booyah!
and our goalie won the World Cup. We'll be talking about death threats against an 8-year-old. And Iran is up to their usual tricks.
Oh, Iran.
Yep.
Always bringing us enough material.
I know. It's like a mainstay of our show.
How we appreciate you.
And then old Joe.
Oh, Mr. Biden.
Old Joe Biden went and stuck his foot in his mouth.
Not a politician.
Well, I'm saying that like if we're talking about Joe Biden, really it should be like we should cover the times when he takes his foot out of his mouth. That's a lot less frequent.
It might be, yeah.
A lot more newsworthy.
And last of all, we're going to wrap it up with a billionaire pedophile.
Yeah.
We won't talk much about him because we don't talk a lot about scumbags.
Truth.
But it's important because it's all they're talking about on the headlines today.
Truth.
So,
shall I start us off with a little bit of history?
Kick it off, brother.
Alrighty. This week in history, 1981, Sandra Day O'Connor was nominated to the Supreme Court by President Ronald Reagan. First female Supreme Court justice.
Ooh, raw.
Ish. She retired not that long ago. She was on there for a while. I think 2015 is when she retired, I want to say.
So she didn't die in office.
No.
It seems like that's what happens in most of the Supreme Court justices.
Well, it's a lifetime appointment, so yeah, they tend to kaput rather than retire. Oh, 2005, I'm sorry, I was 10 years early. 2005, she retired. All the lefties were really sad to see her go because despite her appointment by Ronald Reagan, she was an outspoken proponent of abortion.
That's interesting.
Loved her some dead babies.
So Ronald Reagan, what happened? That doesn't jive.
Promised to nominate a woman to the Supreme Court at one of his earliest opportunities. He got a pick. Other than her stance on abortion, she did generally tend to vote moderate conservative. I'm not sure why he chose her over others, but he promised to nominate a woman, so he did.
I kind of wish her name would have been Sarah O'Connor. Could you imagine?
Fighting Terminators.
Right. Oh, man. Especially on the Supreme Court. Man.
Yes.
That would just been the greatest.
That would have been good.
I would have nominated her just for that. I don't care what your views are. No, you've got a cool name.
You like dead babies? I'm not. You got somebody
Well,
else's
you're fighting
vote, not mine.
Terminators. You're killing everything. All right.
This is true.
Moving on. Greece first.
Oh, good.
They got a new prime minister.
Yay.
So we're going to see what's going to happen because Greece, for the past quite a long time now, has had extreme liberals in office as a prime minister.
And man, have they loved spending them some other people's money.
Yep. And by other people's money, we mean mostly Germany, because when you're part of the European Union, you're pretty much held up by the couple richest nations in there.
Yep.
Mainly Germany. So yes, Greece is pretty much controlled by Germany right now because they're spending all their money. So the debt that Greece has been going through for the past decade and a half now-ish, somewhere around there.
Way more than that, but yeah.
Yeah, so it is. They are seeing a little slight improvement in there in the past couple years, but let's talk about that improvement because...
Yeah, it's not really an improvement. It's a reduction in how rapidly things are getting bad.
Exactly. Their unemployment rate is at 21%. 21%.
1 in every 5 people in Greece is unemployed. So, 1 in 5.
To give that perspective, the unemployment rate right now in America is 3%.
Yeah.
So, but however, if you're between the ages of 15 and 24 living in Greece, you are likely at 43% to be unemployed. So what happens there?
So one of your most employable age demographics is the most out of work.
Yep. The most depended on in a nation are your young people because we need them getting jobs, paying taxes to take care of the older nation.
Correct.
And they're not. They're fleeing the country. Their GDP in that country, the GDP in the country is a negative 19.4%. Negative 19%.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you make no money and then you give away on top of that another 20% of your economy?
That not quite, because your income tax is at 42%. you're being taxed 42%, and then you're losing another 20% on top of that due to your GDP.
Wow.
So the reasons behind this is that Greece, for the longest time, has had government-run healthcare, government-run pensions,
Government on everything.
government-run education, and so when you have government that is into that much, that's exactly what happened. They've dipped into their own pensions, so people who retire don't have what money they thought they would. So they can't retire. They can't afford basic food to live off of. People can't go to school because they can't afford it anymore.
Hang on. Cough, Social Security, cough. Sorry, got a frog in my throat.
This is socialism at work, and this is why I want to talk on this tonight, because it's not really in the headlines. Mainstream media has completely missed this. But this is what happens when socialism succeeds. A country is just fallen on its face.
Yep.
They gave their government so much power, they shut down their banks. All banks in Greece shut down for 20 days. That's how much power the government had over there.
Yep.
Not okay. Stop socialism in its tracks, folks.
Got to, or that's what's going to happen. They're not doing it right. No, the problem is they are doing it right.
They perfected it.
Yep.
And I want to share a quick scripture. This is coming from Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 8. It says, "But thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need." This is talking about charity.
Right.
This is what we need. We need people taking care of people. Our neighbors, our loved ones, our friends, our family. Not the government. You get the government stepping in, this is what happens.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Yes. And if you're one of those people out there saying, I don't have any friends, I don't really have family who's going to come help me out, take care of me, you know what? Go back to church. And don't go back to church for the intent to get money off of people. Go back to church, start helping other people, and you will see that dividends return.
Absolutely, yes.
All right?
I've never not seen that happen.
Exactly. So less socialism, more people taking care of people.
Always more gooder.
Yes.
Because if you need $5, I can loan you $5. But in socialism, I give that $5 plus another 25 to a bureaucrat who gives you $5.
All right. Next on the list,
A little bit of Iran.
I think you got a thing going on with Iran.
I think I really don't, but I would like to have several nuclear tipped things
Not going on.
toward Iran.
Okay.
So Iran has decided that they're going to violate their end of the nuclear agreement that President Obama made with them in 2015.
They already violated.
Well, yes, but they're threatening to violate it more. So by the terms of the agreement, they're allowed to enrich uranium to 3.67%, which is what you need, the amount of refinement you need to run uranium in a nuclear power facility.
To give you power, to power your homes.
Yes,
okay,
correct. 3.67%. They're saying they've already gotten it up like past 4, working on 20.
Oh my goodness.
With the intent of getting to the 90s.
To make bombs.
Make bombs.
Kabooms.
Yes.
So they've admitted that. This is what we're doing. This is our plan.
Yeah. Because they don't like sanctions we're putting on them.
Do they want more sanctions?
Yeah, do you want more sanctions? Because this is how you get sanctions.
Exactly. And not just from us. I hate when people think it's just America versus Iran. It's not.
No, it's not. Britain's in on this. France is in on this. France is sending their top diplomat to try and talk them down. There's literally no purpose in enriching uranium beyond like 4% unless you're making a bomb. Because it gets exponentially faster. It's not like the amount of time it takes to go from 1% to 3% is as much time as it goes, 3% to 6%. It gets exponentially faster the more you refine it. Because the less further refinement it needs to get to that.
I see.
So if it takes you, 6 months to go from 1% to 4%, in another 4 months you could get it to 90. Yeah.
So I want to know, why is Iran ponying up to this? This doesn't seem like them. Usually they just do it behind the curtain, right? And just lie to everybody's faces. But now they've come out and said, hey, this is what we're doing.
I don't know. I think it's because they're pissed at Trump.
We're going to piss him off more.
Yeah. I'm not sure what their end game is here. I would personally not have owned up to that, but Trump's mad at them because they ostensibly blew up some ships.
Oh yeah, and then they threatened to take a British ship captive.
Yep. And now they're just stopping, pulling all their punches and saying like, yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah, they're picking a fight with
everybody.
everybody.
What are you gonna do about it?
Stand by and watch. Iran.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna like the answer to that question, Iran, but you do you.
Yep. And Trump will do Trump.
Man, will he ever? His what, second day in office? We dropped the largest non-nuclear bomb in our arsenal. I'm just saying, we have 19 of those left.
Oh, let's do it. They got an expiration date.
They do.
Let's get to that.
They
soon.
do. Oh, the Moabs?
Oh, yes.
Its actual nomenclature is massive ordnance aerial bomb, but everyone just calls it the mother of all bombs.
But you got massive in the title. I mean, whatever
Yeah.
engineer named that.
Right? It's like dropping like a piano crate full of high explosive. Well, actually, no, it's not. It's like 20 feet long. It has to be kicked out the back of a cargo aircraft. We don't even have like a bomber capable of delivering this thing.
That's how awesome it is.
It really is huge.
Okay, let's talk about soccer.
Oh, let's.
Because our women's U.S. soccer team are the World Cup champs of the world. Hoorah!
Yes, the World Cup champs of the world, as opposed to like the World Cup champs of like Hong Kong.
You know what you're saying?
I think I do better than you do.
Stop trying to speak English. I will speak it for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Our women are the champs.
They are.
Period. They won. They beat the Dutch 2-0. The co-captain on the team, Miss Rapinoe, who I'm not a big fan of.
Nope.
She's the one kneeling down during the national anthem.
Yep.
She received the Golden Boot, which means she scored the most goals throughout the year. Alex Morgan, the other captain on the team, she got the Silver Boot. They actually tied. They scored the same amount of goals, but Rapinoe did it in less amount of time. She played less minutes, so she got. And the Dutch goalie actually got the Golden Glove because she was one of the best goalies. And I watched the highlights of that game. She stopped some good shots.
Nice.
So I think she deserved it.
Good on her.
However, this was an amazing event. It was awesome. It was a great game. It was overshadowed because when they won, the fans in the crowd were chanting equal pay, equal pay.
And F Trump.
I did not know that.
And she chucked an American flag on the ground and danced on it until one of her other teammates ran and got it.
Really?
Yeah, pretty aggravating, not gonna lie.
Interesting. He's talking about Rapinoe. So, I think this is sad because you had a great achievement. You need to celebrate that achievement. Celebrate America for giving you that opportunity to do that. And this is what you go to. Now, I spent a lot of hours today digging into the different pay between the men's soccer team and the women's soccer team. And I can tell you right now, there's probably very few people who understand that. It's done through a collective bargaining agreement. So it's owned by people who are not on the teams. They have people who represent the teams. And they keep showing statistics from a previous collective bargaining agreement. So they like to show stats from the 2014 and 2015 timeframes between the men and the women. Now, what I'm going to say about that is that at that time, soccer was kind of a new thing in America. Before that time, there was like a club of 9 people that watched soccer in America.
Right.
It was just blown up in America at that time, and it was historically all men, right? The men's sports teams usually bring in more revenue, more money than women's sports teams. That's just how it is. It's a bit more competitive. People pay more to go see those games.
Yep.
And it was no different at that time. The women's soccer team was widely unknown. So a lot of people were paying a lot more money. There was a lot more sponsors going to the men's teams at that time. Fast forward a couple years, nothing's changed. Okay? The women play a lot more games than the men. So just strictly by numbers, they bring in more revenue because they play more games. So they have more ticket sales. However, revenue overall, the men are still bringing in more money because they have more sponsors. People still want to watch the men's games more often.
Yeah, who watches the most sports? Guys. And we want to watch other guys beat the crap out of each other.
So, and this is even true when you look at the men's World Cup and the women's World Cup. So the women's World Cup they just played, broke a lot of records. They had like 700 million viewers.
Yep.
The men, they crossed the billion mark with viewers. And when you talk about bringing in revenue just at the World Cup, so whatever amount of money they bring in, the women's teams get 13% of that revenue just from the World Cup game, right?
Right.
The men get 9%. So the men will still get more money because it's 9% of a lot more money that they bring in. So technically, if you look at the numbers the right way, women are making more than the men at the World Cup. Now the collective bargaining agreement, you can't look at those numbers because it's different for the women and the men. So the wins, losses, they get paid different for wins and losses. The women have a base salary, the men don't. However, if both teams lose all of their games all season long, all 20 games, then they get paid the exact same. In the end, was it worth overshadowing your super awesome achievement? No. You did wrong by your team.
It wouldn't have anyway. Like, this is the moment for America to shine. We just beat the entire world at soccer.
Right.
We are the champions of the planet. But no, we got to make it political.
Yeah, make it grandstanding. So no worse than Colin Kaepernick using his team to kneel down during the national anthem.
Correct.
Just a lot worse. Don't do that. Don't be that person.
Please don't.
For me, the so what here, the takeaway is when there's something to celebrate, don't ruin it. Don't get political. Don't use...
celebrate it.
Exactly. Don't use the wrong platforms to get political. People hate that.
Correct.
Don't do it again.
Speaking of politics that people hate.
What do we hate now?
I'm not really hating, but old Joe.
Oh, Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. He just issued an apology for...
Segregation remarks?
Yes,
right?
for remarks about segregation.
That were made like before I was born or something?
And do you know what his remarks about segregation were?
Huh.
Segregationists suck, but it's Congress, so sometimes you have to cut deals with people you don't like.
Oh, you spoke the truth, Mr. Joe.
Can't do that, Bubba. Not on your side of the aisle.
Right.
Like, that might work for you in the national election, but that'll get you murdered in the primaries, brother. That is not going to work. And he did exactly the wrong thing.
What do you mean?
Well, this is the issue that Kamala Harris just pummeled him on during the debates. Mm-hmm. Oh, how can we support segregation? You know, I was one of, she's billing herself as a civil rights activist, so she's, I was one of those people that got bussed into, across county lines.
No, you weren't.
No, your district was already completely desegregated, ma'am. Like, you're not a civil rights activist.
Yeah, it was completely desegregated before you were even born. So I've seen those statistics.
Yeah.
You were never made to sit in the back of the bus, Kamala.
No, you weren't.
Shut your trap.
But because Joe is not exceptionally strong as a politician, he went ahead and issued a retraction. I apologize. I'm sorry if I hurt people. Sorry if I offended anyone. Joe, can I give you some free advice? Because I would love to see a debate on the national stage between you and Trump.
Yes, I would watch that.
I would love to see that. If you're not wrong, don't apologize.
Don't capitulate.
You have nothing to apologize for, how weird... Can I just explain how weird it feels to be defending Joe Biden? This is the most non sequitur thing I've ever done in my life. And yes, I meant non sequitur, even though that was the wrong thing to say.
I thought you were just making up words.
Nope. I should have known. Yeah, Jarhead doesn't know that. It is weird. Don't apologize if you're not wrong. You have nothing to apologize for, so throw it back in her face. Oh, but you're not gonna, because you're nice guy Joe.
Nice guy,
All right.
Joe. Nice guys finish last.
Have fun watching the presidential debates from the sidelines there, buddy.
We shall see how that works out, because I don't know what's going to happen, because he's the only moderate person in that pool of 25, 26
Dude,
people.
how bad is it in the Democratic field if Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden are your moderates?
Right. Okay, moving on. We're going to talk about a dirtbag right now, because he's what is blowing up the headlines. Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
He is a billionaire. He made his billions of dollars as a financier. So
He's a hedge fund manager, yeah.
People paid him money. He invested their money for him. He's a billionaire. Back in 2008, he was arrested for sex trafficking. The FBI, this was FBI, so it's a felony. It's sex trafficking, automatic felony. They had a 53-page indictment. Okay? Yep. Happened down there in Florida. All the charges, this 53-page indictment, got dropped down to 2 state charges. This guy served 13 months in jail. But get this, his jail time was half a day. So he went to jail to sleep because he needed work release to go to work. Because billionaires, it's so, he's got to go. What do you do as a billionaire and as a hedge fund manager?
I don't know. You get lit on fire, then run over with a tank because you're a freaking pedophile?
Yeah. So now get this, the prosecutor who made this deal, and the shady things are coming out galore about how this deal went down behind doors, was actually made by Alex Acosta.
Really?
Trump's current Secretary of Labor, who is now defending what he did for this dirtbag.
Yeah, that's not good.
Nope, it is not good. So he's back in the headlines because he just got arrested again. Now, this is not the first time. He has had multiple charges since 2008 come out against him. And I'm talking like a dozen. And you go to Wikipedia and you'll just see this guy's charges list of multiple sex trafficking, having sex with a minor, abuse, all of it.
Yeah.
So he did get arrested. They went and the FBI conducted a search warrant in his apartment there in Manhattan. And they did. They found nude pictures of minors again. And this is not double jeopardy, right? Because this is a felony and he was convicted of state charges last time. So double jeopardy charges, that doesn't apply here.
Nope.
So
Double jeopardy means you cannot be tried for the same crime twice. So if you're tried for a crime and you're found innocent or found not guilty, they can't go back and charge you with that crime again. That same crime.
And what they're doing here, they're not bringing up the same crimes that he was charged for in 2008. It's all new stuff.
Yeah, because he's a serial pedophile and he's not going to be content with stopping him back then.
So the so what here is, because I can't talk any longer about this guy, or me and Joe are going to start throwing punches. I don't know. I just want to punch something with people when it comes to people like this. This evil exists in our world. It's hard for me to imagine somebody more evil than this guy. They exist. They are real. And we need to extinguish evil. Joe, people like this, they don't deserve to live, and we can't be using our taxpaying money to put this guy away for life sentence.
There's a line of demarcation. If an adult, commits a crime against another adult, that is another developed human being that can, has legal rights and can do their own thing. But if you're preying on children, if you are preying on innocent kids who haven't even had time in their life to make stupid mistakes yet, or to gain the rights that they can use to fight back against you, no, negative. And this is not like an oops, I didn't ask for her ID. He has been trafficking kids for decades.
Yep. And he's actually asked those kids to go out and recruit for him. In cases like this, I don't think it's necessary, or I don't think the public should be privy to all the certain details of this. I don't think we need to know certainly not the minors' names or the ages or where they came from.
No.
We don't even need to know the numbers. We don't need to see pictures of the kids, what he did, the type of abuse. I think all that should be confined to the courtroom. What we need to know is that he's a sex trafficker of kids of this serial type.
And I want to know who his associates are.
And that is where the conspiracy is coming in. Back in 2008, who was he hanging out with? Bill Clinton, Donald Trump's. There are pictures out there.
When Bill Clinton would go and spend some time with him and dodge his Secret Service detail?
There are so many people. I don't want to be throwing other names out there because this is the dirtbag, but yeah, he's a billionaire. He was not alone when he was doing this. And so I 100% believe that he got this 13-month half jail time deal because he had too many other names in his pocket. So he protected other politicians and billionaires.
Yeah, I want to see this blow up and let the chips fall where they may. I don't care if you're an R. I don't care if you're a D. I don't care who you are.
A prince?
I don't care if you're a foreign leader.
The so what here is this is why the death penalty is important. We can't keep people like this alive.
No.
And he's proved why.
No.
So it is important.
Yeah, there's zero remorse shown there.
It's not that we like killing people. Me and Joe, of all people, veterans of a couple foreign wars, we've been deployed.
Yeah.
We're not promoters of death. We're promoters of extinguishing evil. Allowing this guy to survive, putting him in jail for life, is allowing evil to exist in your society. It's not okay. Do away with it.
Yep.
That's all I got to say about Mr. Dirtbag.
Yep.
Let's talk about someone who's not a dirtbag, who I think is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Miss Ava Martinez?
Yes! People call her Mini AOC. I don't like that.
I do. I think it's freaking hilarious.
But she's mocking AOC, so she's like anti-AOC.
So, yeah, she had a social media channel where she would go and whatever publicity photos AOC took, she would take it in the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. But like her last one was, AOC doing that mock
at the border fence,
looking out like an empty parking lot.
Yep.
And her parents took one of her, but she's like sad because she can't cross the chain link fence to get to the playground.
Yeah.
It really is well done comedy.
And she's 8.
Except she doesn't do it anymore. And all her social media accounts have been deleted because lefties doxed her.
What does that mean?
It means they published all her parents' information. Her parents were getting death threats on their personal cell phones.
Oh my.
Not just like, hey, what's wrong with you, but like death threats. against a freaking 8-year-old. What is wrong with you people?
Who are these people? Who are you? Talk about evil.
Right?
My heck.
So she no longer has a social media presence because her privacy has been destroyed. Her family's privacy has been destroyed. Her life has been threatened.
But wouldn't you say when you go out there on social media and you start mocking somebody who's as prominent as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
Occasional cortex?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't you think that that's bound what's going to happen when you do something like that?
No. If I was doing that and people want to friggin' dox me and threaten my life, bring it. You can send anybody you want as long as you don't want them back. But it's not me. It's an 8-year-old girl. You're threatening the life of an 8-year-old child because she's mocking the most mockable public figure, at least in my lifetime.
Other than Trump.
I don't know,
He brings
man.
us a lot of material. Well,
He does bring us a lot of material, but this lady, oh my gosh.
but we don't really want her to shut up because what comes out of that woman's mouth is kind of gold. I mean, what's next, AOC?
No,
what are you
I
gonna say
don't want
now?
her to shut up because, yeah, it is. It's comedy gold. However, comma, space, pause for effect. She's a political figure. She has waived any right to privacy. She's waived any right to retribution against people who mock her.
Apparently, she's waived any right to intelligence or common sense.
Oh, yeah.
Gave that up.
Yeah, her common sense is non-existent. But when your followers are so rabid that they're threatening the life of a child because she's making fun of you, maybe they're out there. I haven't seen them. Where are her tweets condemning this?
Interesting.
I'm just saying.
Good call.
As of right now, as of filming tonight,
it's not there.
it's not there. Not that I've seen.
And I'm super sad because she was really good at what she was
She's
doing.
friggin' hilarious. She is funny as crap.
Yeah.
If you can find her stuff on YouTube, find her stuff on YouTube. It's worth a look.
Yeah.
She's hilarious.
I hope they find a way to come back. Maybe move, change your phone numbers, your name. I don't know, but she's gonna be missed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's just too bad.
It is.
Okay, look at that. How Joel and Jarhead give you all of your headlines plus
Right.
the important stuff. We got this.
Like on the news networks, they're still talking about just Joe Biden. Right? They haven't even covered anything else.
And I
They're
don't
still talking about Epstein and what suit he wore today.
exactly. All right, Platoon. Thanks for joining us. That is our show.
And thank y'all for showing up. We have the best audience on the internet.
We love
We really do.
Hoorah, guys.
Doing dismissed.
Number 5.
I'm gonna have good dreams tonight about that.
He's messed up in the head. You don't want to know what kind of dreams, people.